Hello, everyone, and happy Easter. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. If you celebrate Easter, happy Easter. If you don't, enjoy the peaceful day. So it is beautiful here in the Philadelphia area. Hope everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful day. Fred and Lisa, happy Easter to you as well. Thank you guys so much. Matt, happy Easter to you. Jay Myers, happy Sunday to you. Duke, how are you? Welcome back. How was your cruise? How's everything going? Tis Easter, one of the 2 days that the casuals go to church, Easter and Christmas. Sometimes they go on Palm Sunday to get the palms to feel good. You never know. So yeah, happy Easter, everyone. Hope you're having a great day. Hi, Felicia. Happy Easter to you as well. We got a pretty good amount of cruise news today for an Easter. It was a busy week in cruise news. So we're going to get into said cruise news now. The Galveston Cruise Terminal is the upgrade they're doing to add another berth there. Upgrade is on track. The upgrade is on track for November. There's also a little bit more news too. It is now one of the most popular cruise ports in America. The hotels there are starting to sell out. I'm guessing that they're going to be building more hotels there. There's not a ton of hotels very close to the cruise port. There are some hotels in the area, obviously, but there are not a ton close to the cruise port. So they're going to be building more things there. This particular person from the Tremont House, they have 142 rooms. They are sold out 4 of every 7 nights because of the cruises, which is great. And Galveston, the wharves there is really starting to pick up. They're getting some more restaurants and shops and different things. So this is all positive. It's great that there are more options for you to go and check out cruising from. I love the fact that it's a little more diverse and we're getting things out in the middle of the country even a little bit, which is really nice. So if you're anywhere in the country, you should be able to fly. It's kind of Carnival's plan is they want you to be like 4 or 5 hours driving from any cruise port, within reason. Obviously, if you're in the middle of the country there in Nebraska or something, you're not going to be that close. Michael said, everything was great, kind of disappointed in the Labadee switch, but I think Dominican Republic was probably an upgrade. I would agree. That port there in Puerto Plata is amazing. Great first Royal cruise. It's great to hear, Michael. I'm glad that you had a great time. Yeah, the switch, we'll talk about Labadee in a little bit on cruise news, but, it is for sure disappointing, but, better safe than sorry. It is a long drive from Nebraska. If you're in Nebraska or anywhere, if you're in Philly, it's a really, 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 really long drive to Galveston. It's also a long drive from the airport there. So one of my things is when I went out of Galveston on Jubilee, I liked the port. The port was great. I love the area there. It's a cute area. It's just not very easy to get in and out of. Obviously, Houston's the closest airport and the closest city there. So it's just a long drive. There's nothing you can do about it. But I hope that they do build more infrastructure there, hopefully. Hi, Sandy. Happy Easter. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Hope everybody has fun Easter plans. Next bit of cruise news is Utopia and Wonder are getting some modifications. And these modifications are fairly interesting, right? So the Utopia is getting some updates that are going to debut in May. So they are building a larger non-smoking casino. If you haven't heard this yet, there's a comedy club that's on board a lot of the Oasis class ships called the Attic. In my experience, I go on a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises. Here's the thing, right? I am a huge fan of comedy. I'm sure I've talked about this a ton. I love comedy. I love stand-up comedy. I generally find the stand-up on board cruise ships to be pretty meh, right? It's okay if you have nothing else going on. But I also find that it's usually really crowded. It's hard to get into those. They fill up really quickly, specifically on Carnival or Princess or any of those. And even now on Norwegian, they have a tiny little, on the Prima and the Prima Plus class, they have a tiny little comedy club and it fills up really quickly. So they're getting rid of the comedy club called the Attic on board the Oasis class ships here. And they are building a larger non-smoking gambling room, which is nice if you don't want the smoke. And they're moving comedy into the main theater. So if you like comedy, it's going to really give you a larger space to see comedy. I think it's harder to do comedy in a large theater like that. I think you have to be better at comedy to be in a bigger room like that. So hopefully maybe they'll get some bigger comedians. Who knows? So that is expected to open on Utopia May 9th, which is right around the corner. Other updates are going to include the relocation of the Crown Lounge. So they're making a larger Crown Lounge. They're moving it to where the ship's teen club is, and the teen club is going to become smaller. So that's interesting as well. Wonder is going to get similar upgrades prior to them debuting in the short cruise market. So this is a fun little thing. They're updating a few of these ships. They're seeing some things that needed to be changed, and they're going to change them. So that's pretty cool. If you are interested in the non-smoke casino, that's great. Fred and Lisa said, your opinion, best royal ship with most activities out of New Jersey. I'd like bumper cars, playmakers. I'd like Central Park. I know none have it after Symphony leave North Star too. Yeah, so you're describing like a blend of Odyssey and Symphony. So Odyssey's there right now, and obviously you guys aren't quite ready to hit that. Symphony will be there for the summer and the fall, which will be great. You're going to get Central Park. You're going to get playmakers. You're not going to get bumper cars or North Star, but you would get those other things. I mean, obviously Symphony is going to have the most things for you to do. And then of course, Oasis is coming next year, almost identical with the exception of Port Barbecue there. Let me see. And Liberty's going to be here for the summer, but that doesn't have any of that stuff. Let me see what's going on. Let me see what's coming up here in the winter. I don't know if Odyssey's back. Let me check real quick. Very good question, guys. But yeah, as I'm looking here, let's see where we are going out of. Yeah, so Odyssey's back the end of this year. So one of those two ships, if you guys are looking to get on something at the end of this year, then Odyssey might be a good fit for you. Again, not going to have Central Park, not going to be as massive on as those other ships. I was just on Odyssey. I'll have a ship tour coming out. I just did a tour. So I'll have a ship tour coming out in the next few weeks. But I like Anthem, Odyssey, Quantum, that class of ships. Those ships get a little too crowded for me. There's a lot of indoor space and there's a lot of people moving around, and it just feels more cluttered than the Oasis class to me, even though there's way more people on Oasis and Symphony and all of them. The Odyssey and them just seem to me more cluttered. Now, Odyssey, you're going to get playmakers inside the Seaplex, which is a really cool area there. You'll get your bumper cars, you'll get the North Star, and there's just a ton of things to do. So I highly recommend Odyssey or Symphony. I think you'll have a great time on both of those ships. Tony Diaz, good morning. Happy Easter to you as well. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. Ed, good morning. Hope you're having a great day. Happy Easter to you too. Sandy said, we're in the brilliance of the season, October. I heard it was going to dry dock this month. I heard they're upgrading the rooms. Do you know what the upgrades are? I do not. So I know that there is going to be a dry dock. Generally speaking, it's not an amplification. Brilliance is very old. So I'm going to doubt that they're upgrading the rooms. They might. They totally might. It might just be like a paint, carpets. Maybe they'll put new TVs in the rooms, but I don't think they're going to do a massive upgrade because Brilliance is so old. And at some point, Brilliance, Enchantment, Vision, those are going to, I think they're just going to, be done. So I don't think they're going to sink a ton of money in those, especially with all the new ships that are coming out. Katie Myers, good morning from the Scarlet Lady, and happy Easter to you as well. How are things on the Scarlet Lady? We have some Virgin news later this morning as well. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time. How's everything going? Sandy said, give John a thumbs up. Thanks, Sandy. Very much. I appreciate that. Next bit of cruise news this morning is China now has the world's largest cruise terminal. MSC had it for a week and a half. Their terminal is 450,000 square feet, which is enormous. The new Chinese one is almost 1.5 times that size. It is 6 floors above ground, 2 floors underground. It is massive. It is had its first cruise go out on a Costa ship this week, the Costa Mediterranea from Xiamen. in the Fujian province. So that's going on this week. It is a enormous. I've never been to China. Obviously, I've never been to China. I've never been to any of those Asian countries. Really interesting. I'd love to go on a cruise. I'd love to go to Japan specifically, but it's amazing. Tony said, apply more duct tape on Brilliance. That's it. They're just getting some tape and some super glue, trying to keep things together. I think Brilliance is a really cute chip. I really do. Like, we went on Enchantment. We had such a great time on Enchantment. Visions looks great. I think they're just going to clean those up, keep them for another few years, and then we'll say goodbye to them. Katie said, Scarlet's definitely different than Royal, which is what we're used to. Getting around is a little confusing and not as easy to navigate, but hopefully we'll get used to it by the end of the week. Yeah, I hope you do as well. I am hearing a lot of different things about Virgin these days. We do, like I said, we do have a little bit of news. So I'm intrigued. I'm excited to hear what you guys think of it. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Katie said, food is really good. That's great. That is good to hear. And I've also heard that the food is great as well. So that is great news. And I'm very happy about that. We did have some pier runners this week. I know Jay from the Ship Life covered it. So these people, I know there was a lot of, I don't know why, because this happens all the time. There was a lot of news about people getting jeered and mocked and laughed at for missing the ship. Look, I certainly enjoy watching a good pier runner. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy it. I haven't done it in the past couple of years. I always forget now. I used to really watch and keep an eye out to see if people were missing the ship. Now I kind of feel bad. As you get older, you kind of feel bad for people. Sometimes people just don't know any better. Sometimes people are entitled and they think that the ship's going to wait for them. Those people, I don't care at all about. But people that, have an issue or something happens and they miss the ship, yeah, it's terrible, right? I get why people laugh at them. I laugh as well. We all do. I would never scream and yell. And as a general rule, I would not video it. Again, it's funny. I might video it and watch it myself. I wouldn't publish it. But I would definitely laugh for sure, which is mean. But again, if it's something legitimate and something happened and they're, they got stuck somewhere or something happened, it happens a lot. Happens more than you think. But they were over 30 minutes late and they didn't seem like they had any issues. They were just irresponsible and missed the ship. So oopsies. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Tony said, good morning, everyone. I'm a little late today. No worries, Tony. Welcome. Hey, Bob. Happy Easter. Any thoughts on Radiance class October? Yeah, we were just talking about it. October will be a great time for Sandy and me on that class. We will say why a fun time we had meeting you. Oh, thank you so much. So, yeah, I love the Radiance class. I love older ships. As much as I love the biggest and the best, here's my thing. I want either everything or nothing. So I don't like the middle of the road, right? I don't want that middle, because those are the ones like Quantum and those, I feel like they get too crowded. The mid-sized Norwegian ships, I always feel cluttered and crowded on those. On the older ships, I feel like it's great. On the newer ships, there's so much to do. I love it. But for the older ships, it's a classic cruise experience, right? You get to go. It's about relaxation. It's about having great meals with your family. It's about going to see some fun shows. So I love it. You guys are going to have a great time. It's going to be awesome. Fred and Lisa said, I want to get in 3 cruises next year just in case. Don't drive to New York anymore. Car service is expensive. So Royal Caribbean or Celebrity. Of course. Yeah, I'm here to help. Whatever you guys need. Tony said, older, smaller ships always have the better itineraries. That is 100% true. And I find the cruise friendlier. Of course, I agree with that as well. They're not as stressed out a lot. And I do find on the older, smaller ships, those people that work on those ships choose to work on those ships. They love the smaller ships. They love getting to know people on those ships. They're generally longer itineraries. So yeah, it's a different type of cruising completely. So that's why it's so important to figure out what's important to you. I like everything. So it's easy for me. Obviously, I do this all the time. So, but it's good for you to know, like, hey, I like this or I like that. Katie said, we prefer smaller ships too. It's great relaxation getting in small ports. Exactly. Exactly. Jay Meyer said, agreed. All the older ships are slowly being remodeled and better itineraries. Yep. Couldn't agree more. Bob, no worries. You don't have to proofread. I can do it for you. I'm here to help. Next bit of cruise news. Here we go with Virgin. Virgin is testing drink packages. So one of the biggest complaints that people have about Virgin is that you have to get a bar tab, and it's a little confusing for some people because it's not easy for everyone to figure that out. So they are checking it out and they are testing it. So sometimes you can buy like a $300 bar tab and then you just get drinks and different things like that. But everybody knows that the drink package is kind of a very popular thing. It's also a great way for them to make money. Let's not kid ourselves. So Virgin is testing an unlimited drink package on the Valiant Lady during April and May. It's $95 a night, which is expensive. It's very expensive, especially when their drinks are like $10. That's a lot of drinks to hit that package. Plus 18% gratuity. Royal Caribbean does dynamic, and Royal Caribbean's drink package has been very cheap lately. So if you're going on a cruise, look for the drink package. It's been like $55 for the past couple of weeks. So this Virgin package is including all drinks up to $20 each, which they really don't have anything that's super expensive. It includes alcohol, non-alcohol, specialty coffee, and juices. It's very weird because their packages, you don't need a package right now for non-alcoholic and juices, which is weird. Same thing too, just like every other cruise line, everybody in the cabin must pay for it. So I don't love the fact that they're doing this because I think it's a differentiator for them, but eventually I think they get worn down and they just are going to become like everybody else, which is very sad. Next bit of cruise news, MSC Meraviglia has a cancellation. We talked about this a little bit on Wednesday. They're having some engine propulsion issues. So the 7-night cruise on May 11th has been canceled. Everyone found out about this on April 16th. Look, it sucks. It sucks anytime they cancel something, but there's nothing you can do about these sometimes. Sometimes they just have to do it. This is the problem with cruise vacations, so to speak. It's really hard to fix things on the fly, and these ships are going in and out every week so they can remain profitable and make money. So there is a mechanical issue. They're going to do the repairs. They're going to take a week off, make sure it's done right, and fix it. The people are getting their cruises transferred, which kind of sucks. So if they move them by May 2nd, they're going to get a $200 onboard credit. They're also going to get a 50% future cruise credit. That's pretty awesome. But it sucks. Look, if that's your vacation plans and you get one vacation a year and now it's disrupted, it's terrible. I feel awful for those people. But the ship's got to get fixed. So Katie said, I'm good with my bar tab. We aren't huge drinkers and probably barely get it by spending. Yeah, I agree. Look, completely. I do not get the drink package ever. Even Judy and I talked about it. We were on World America and they were nice enough to give us all drink packages. Obviously they were included. We didn't have to pay for anything, but we didn't have one drink. I had sodas and stuff, but I didn't drink anything. So yeah, I agree. The bar tab for me works great. Even $300 would be too much for me. I'm not going to spend $300 on drinks, but it looks like they're not going to be giving away soda and stuff anymore. So maybe that would balance it out. Next bit of cruise news, Allure of the Seas. Speaking of huge amplifications, Allure got a massive $100 million refurbishment. It is now back in the Mediterranean. It's going to be kicking off cruises. It did on April the 11th. I have clients that are going on there for their honeymoon in a few months. It's going to be doing all these week-longers, and then in October, it's going to do a 14-night repositioning to Fort Lauderdale, and it's going to sail out of Fort Lauderdale for the 25-26 winter season. I wish I could have gotten on Allure. I wish I would have planned better to do that because I would have loved to have seen this enhancement. They got the Perfect Storm water slides. They got the dry slide, the Abyss in the middle of the ship. They got new dining venues, new bars, upgraded pool deck with the new fun colors, all of that. It looks awesome. And I can't wait for people to go on it. Let me know how it is. So if anybody's going on Allure, take some pics. Let me know what it's all about. Jay Meyer said, I don't drink enough to get the drink package anymore. Yeah, I mean, especially on Royal, I get 5 drinks a day for free. So that's awesome. On NCL, generally, I will do more at sea for the most part, but sometimes I don't even do that. I booked something coming up, Escape. I think I booked in for September. I'm on Norwegian Escape, and I didn't even do the drink package. I'm like, I just don't need it. I'll buy a couple drinks if I want them. It's fine. It was like $400 less to not have the drink package. Tony said, I'm good with my 5 drinks a day. Only time I get a drink package is with Matt's guys. Yeah, that makes sense, right? If you're on a group cruise where you're going to be hanging out at the Pesky Parrot all night, or you're going to be hanging out grabbing drinks and having a party, then it makes total sense. But if you're not, then, and again, I'm not on vacation. Like for me, I'm working most of the time, so I'm not drinking. But I get it. You're on vacation, you want to drink, it's all good. Go for it. So a lot of controversy going around about the CDC getting rid of people thinking that they're not going to be doing cruise inspections and all the cruise lines are going to go to hell because of this. It's not the case. The federal government vessel sanitation program will continue even with the cuts. It's very important to them. It is not going to stop happening. So for anybody who was worried about that, I heard a lot of people like, I'm not going on cruises because they're filthy. First of all, there is so much norovirus on land, you don't even know about it because they don't have to report it. So does it happen too much for my liking on cruise ships? It doesn't. It seems like it's been happening a lot the past year or two. And I think it's because there was such a drastic ramp up in cleaning and cleanliness and hand washing during the pandemic and coming out of the pandemic. And now I feel like it's really regressed past where it was before, where I don't even see people asking people to wash their hands on most cruise lines. We were on World America. No one asked me to wash my hands once. There's hand washing stations. And MSC is not great at that anyway, but nobody at all asked for it, which is really, 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 really interesting. Next bit of cruise news for today. NCL is moving away from exotic ports and itineraries. Specifically, they're moving away from South America and Antarctica. They're trying to build in more cruises that are going to go to the Bahamas and to the Caribbean. Obviously, those are more closer to the area. They book more. They're more profitable. And look, there's a lot of cruise lines that specialize in the exotics. And even under their brand, they have cruise lines that do it. So for them, it's just going to make more sense to do private islands and those type of things so they can make more money. Friendly said, if Fred gets soda package, do I have to? I can't drink soda. Yeah, sadly, they make you get it. And they're way more restrictive than they used to be on both people in the room getting it. So, yeah, you have to have some kind of soda package. Now, in your specific case, Lisa, we can always call and say, like, hey, here's the deal. You have a medical thing. And sometimes for that, they're going to ask for proof or they'll let you do it. Sometimes they won't, but we'll certainly try and see what they say. Michael said, I like how Royal stopped everyone at the door in the Windjammer, make them wash their hands there. I wish they would do it. I wish they would like ban you from cruising if you didn't wash your hands. So gross. Yeah, I like that too. So some people still walk by and don't do it. And a lot of people were doing the Purell for a long time before, but Purell doesn't kill norovirus. Only washing your hands does. Purell is good for germs and different things, but not for norovirus. Fun facts. Washi washi indeed. Washi washi, happy, happy. Black Broadway Lady said, good morning, happy Easter. Happy Easter to you as well. Any views on the Venezia? We'll be going on July on a 9-day cruise. Their second cruise ever after Merville. I loved the ship Venezia. I thought it was beautiful. I think it's a fun ship. Again, little tight for me. It was a little crowded and tight, but it's a beautiful cruise ship. I think on a 9-day, it's going to be wonderful. We did a 4-day. It was a disaster. It was just a drunk booze cruise and the people were awful. However, I think on a 9-day, you're going to get a completely different crowd. You're not getting your booze cruise crowd, and you're going to have a great time. I think you'll love the ship. We thought the food was amazing. I thought the entertainment was really good. There was a ton of things that I liked about it, but we didn't like the people and we didn't like the fact that everybody was drunk the entire cruise. Oh, we got a little message here from Emily, brand new cruise travel agent Emily, daughter of Bob and Sandy. For the drink package for everyone in the cabin question, at the end of the cruise, they could probably ask for a refund since they'll see they didn't have a bar tab for the soda and didn't accept the soda cup. So that's a great idea from Emily. Thank you, Emily. That is an awesome idea for you guys to try. So even if we don't get it approved, just go up at the end, go to guest service and say, look, we knew I wasn't going to do this. I never took the cup. I didn't drink any soda. And we can try to get you a refund. But we'll try to get you ahead of time so that you don't have to do it. Thanks, Emily. That's awesome. Jay Meyer said hand sanitizers don't kill germs like soap and water. Very true. Very, very, very true. Hand sanitizer is good in a pinch. Like you're walking into the theater. You don't want to touch things that other people have been touching. That's good. But going to eat and things like that, wash your hands. Wash your hands. That little Royal Caribbean song just lives rent-free in my head. Somebody's fire alarm is going off here. Somebody's burning their Easter breakfast. It's very, very loud. So again, we talked about it. Labadie's out again. No one's going to Labadie. It's been shut down officially. I think at some point Royal's going to have to do something here and maybe not go to Labadie at all. I don't know what their lease is on that island, but it's really becoming untenable there. Ryan, happy Easter. Spending it with the family in Connecticut. That's amazing. I am going to be spending it with my family as well. Going over my sisters today with my parents and Judy. So it should be a wonderful time. I hope everybody has a wonderful time. CK, hello from North Carolina, back from Celebrity Ascent. Overall, great ship, but honestly, I preferred Royal's live music, orchestra, big band, house bands, and fine dining shops. Interesting, very interesting. So yeah, that Celebrity Edge class is beautiful. Those ships are very, very pretty. I would agree more on the I would agree as well on the entertainment and the dining. I've heard both. So I did love Sushi on 5. I loved some of the specialty dining, but overall, I think Royal really stands out more on those things as well. Tony said, even with the washy-washy person, people just walk in without washing. I totally agree. I think if they put like an MMA person at the door, like John Jones, and if you don't wash your hand, you get like a head kick. I'm all for it. Just wash your hands. Seriously, wash your hands. Ryan said local issues. Yeah, it's really bad in Port-au-Prince in Haiti. It is very, very, very bad. So just an abundance of caution. They're not going there. Labadie's fine. So I don't think there's any worry there. It's just it's not great there. So it's more optics than anything else. So Verizon is delving into cruise plans. All the companies are going to do this soon, right? They're all going to dive into these cruise plans because they can make money on them. But Verizon now is doing a day pass for cruises. So here's what's going on. So they've partnered with WMS, who does a lot of the cruise stuff, and they're doing a Verizon Cruise Daily Pass. So this is available on more than 200 cruises on 25 cruise lines. You know, it's supposed to transform your Wi-Fi on your cruise, specifically for cruise passengers who don't want to completely disconnect. It is $20 per day. And this is included, it's going to include unlimited data for browsing with 0.5 gig of high-speed data. After that, it's going to be slow, 3G at no additional cost, which is fine. If you're not playing games or doing stuff, it'll include unlimited calls and unlimited text. So for $20 a day, if you're on a 7-day cruise, $140, pretty similar to what the internet is if you pay for it on a ship, but you'll have your own control and it may be a little slow, but that's okay. It's perfect for people who are just trying to, maybe you need a day or two while you're on board to do things. Here you go. You're going to get it. Again, with Starlink becoming more and more available, I don't think there's anything the cruise lines are going to be able to do. It's going to have to come down in price. And all these different phone companies are going to start offering plans like this, like AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, all of them. Karen Compton said, lack of hand washing is one of the reasons I rarely eat at buffets, especially if there are a lot of other choices. Completely agree. Me too. So I do not eat in the buffet. If I do, look, I definitely eat in the buffet, especially for breakfast, but sometimes. But I try to get into the buffet as soon as it opens, so I don't have to deal with all the other gross people, for sure. But that's 100% reason. Dirty Jim said, Labadie's fine until you have a medical emergency, and then have to go to Haiti. Yeah, look, I mean, that's the same with any of those countries, right? So if you're anywhere out there, you don't really want care. And you're right, 100%, right? You don't want to be taking to Port-au-Prince for care. You want to get the hell out of there. So yeah, I agree. It's not great. Michelle B said, so do you think cruise from Wi-Fi cruise lines will come down in price from the competition? I do at some point. Right now, it's kind of going to, they're all going to be around the same price. So I think the cruise lines have probably talked to Verizon and all and said, hey, you could do this, but come in around the same pricing. It looks like they're all going to be around that same $20 to $30 a day. And the cruise line ones are hit or miss. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. So I think it'll depend on the sailing. But as Starlink becomes more and more ubiquitous, prices are going to have to come down because people are just going to have Starlink and not worry about it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, it's got to come down in the next year or so. I think it'll come down to maybe 15 or 20. They all be about 15, 20 bucks a day. So Mobile, Alabama is going to have 2 cruise lines there in 2026. Again, this is a Carnival thing where they try to be closer to more people. So late March 2026, Carnival is going to have their ships coming there full-time now for the entire year. And American Cruise Lines are going to be there. They do more river-based ships. If anybody hasn't seen American Cruise Lines, very expensive. And they do all kinds of like Great Lakes trips. They have a lot of ships. They're getting bigger and bigger. So it's like an American river cruise line, if you haven't seen it. Michelle said, I think I've avoided getting sick my last 2 cruises by avoiding the buffet. For sure. If norovirus is going to happen, it's the most likely place that it's going to happen. On a cruise, you just have so many different people in there touching things. You know, when I was on Odyssey last week, I jumped on Sunday to do the ship tour. There were so many kids, and we walked through the buffet and you just see them touching everything, touching rolls, fruit, all that stuff. And you're just like, no, not a chance. Not a chance. So we talked about it a little bit on Wednesday. Norwegian Cruise Line is finally upgrading Great Stirrup Cay. It's funny, I was on a board this week. I was reading something and it was like our travel agent board, and they had clients going to Great Stirrup Cay and they didn't go there this week because of the weather. And it happens. I haven't been to Great Stirrup Cay in years because every time we go, we miss it because it's a tender port and the weather's not good enough for them to sit out there in the middle of the ocean. I don't know what it is, but thank God the dock is going to be done relatively soon. They're getting a giant pool like the Oasis Lagoon pool in a Perfect Day. And if, like we talked about it on Wednesday, Great Stirrup Cay, the Norwegian island, is almost double the size of Perfect Day. And it's remained largely untouched. So it's nice that they're going to be doing some upgrades here, getting more bars, getting a Vibe Beach Club there. This fire alarm is still going off in my apartment complex. Insane. And a couple other quick things. Tony said, my reason for avoiding the buffet is my lack of self-control for food. Look, it's awesome, right? There's a ton of great food options in the buffet. I think people get it wrong all the time. I enjoy the buffet. I enjoy all the different food options. I love Indian food. I love the Asian options. I love all the things for breakfast and lunch that they have. And it's strictly the people. But yeah, that's a funny reason too, Tony. That's awesome. So 2 last things. Cruise season has started in Alaska. So you're going to see all of those things, which is great. It is early for Alaska. It's going to be cold still, but it is there. And the last bit of cruise news is Norwegian Aqua has officially arrived in Miami. It was christened. It's now going to be going out on sailings. I will be on Aqua in August, late August. So I'm excited for that as well. Karen said, looking forward to all the improvements at Great Stirrup Cay. The pier is long overdue. It sure is. So long overdue. I agree. I cannot wait. I love that island. I love it. It's awesome. But every time we're there, I just want to swim over to Perfect Day. And I can't swim, so that'd be terrible. Tony laughed at Tony. Sandy said, Tony, you're too funny. Very true. Tony's very funny. CK said, I'm excited about the Allure of the Seas upgrade. I was on Allure last year. While I enjoyed it, felt like it was showing its age and needed a refit. Glad to see the robot bar being removed too. Yes, please. It's so funny when you go on, when I went on Anthem the first time years ago, right? I was like, yo, the bionic bar is really cool. And then as you're on the ship, you're like, oh, you just do this once. Like everybody does this once and that's it. And then it's great. It's great that they're putting the pesky parrot on there. I think that's a much better bar concept. Look, give it up for Royal for trying things out. The bionic bar was cool. It's a fun thing, but those things break all the time. It's dumping your drink everywhere. It's hilarious. So yeah, I'm glad that they did that as well. Those are much welcome changes. So thanks everyone for coming and hanging out this Easter morning with me. I hope everybody has a wonderful Easter Sunday. Enjoy it with your family and your friends. We'll be back on Wednesday night. Wednesday, we will have our rep Ilana from Norwegian on. We'll be talking about Great Stirrup Cay. We'll be talking about Aqua. We'll be talking about Luna, which is going to come out next year. Lots of fun things this Wednesday. We do have guests for the next 4 live streams, which is awesome. Dirty Jim said, washing my hands before entering the buffet is like washing my hands before I use the bathroom. Clean my hands only to touch virus-covered tongues. Yeah. You should wash your hands the whole time you're in the buffet. It's so gross. But yep, so that's it. I will see everybody on Wednesday. We have tons of NCL Prima videos still coming out this week. Everything got pushed back because of the World America stuff. And then I'll have the Odyssey ship tour out within a week or so. Everyone have a wonderful day. Yes, Tony Diaz, congrats to the Knicks last night. That 21-0 run on the Pistons. I was watching. I was like, the Pistons are a little frisky. But the Knicks came up big and the Lakers lost. So there you go. Have a great day, everyone. We will see everyone on Wednesday. See everyone. Bye.